Hello everyone. So in this lecture we are learning about the PWD procedure of initiating work by PWD. Okay, so in PWD means the Public Work Department. This is the state government and run department which looks after construction of public utility services like roads, gutters, culverts, government buildings and maintenance and all of such structures. Okay, so the purpose of keeping control on necessary construction services are governed by demand, need, administrative approval, technical sanction and budget provisions. In financial year, all types of construction of structure is represented by locally body or MLA in the state assembly in front of PWD minister, and after studying the feasibility and need of the project is approval is given. So funds are located in the budget of the project which is technically sanctioned. So these are the points you have to learn in this PWD. So this is the steps for initiating the work by PWD. So the first one is submission of proposal and administrative approval, then technical sanction and budgeting, then expenditure sanction, tendering, execution, completion of work, and then maintenance and repairs. These are the steps for the PWD as initiating in this work. So the first one is administrative approval. Okay, so let us learn administrative approval. Now what is administrative approval? Whichever work we have to start it, the first one is administrative approval has to be in front of that contractor. Okay, if you don't have that administrative approval, you can't even start or construct or budget your project on your construction. Okay, so the administrative approval, let us see. For any work or project required by a department, an approval or a sanction of the competent authority of the department with respect to the cost and the work that is necessary at the first instance. So first instance we have to give the cost and what is work, what is the project, and that is sanctioned or approved by that competent authority. Means what authority has to be completion this project. We learn in our last chapter, that is if the building construction, then in building construction comes building department, which comes under that buildings, roads. Okay, then electrification, that comes under engineering department. In environmental comes under, that is your sanitary. That other projects are comes under various departments. So that is why we learn in our last lecture, various departments consider various types of works. Okay, so that is why here we learn the competent authority has to be sanctioned that administrative approval. Okay, that cost and the work. Okay, so the approval authorizes the engineering department to take up. Okay, so the administrative approval denotes the formal acceptances by the department concerned of the proposal, and after the administrative approval is given, the engineering department takes up the works, prepare a detailed design, plans, estimates. The engineering department prepares the approximate estimate and the preliminary plans and submit to the department concerned for the administrative approval. Okay, so for whichever work you have to be done, you have to do, first we need that department and competent authority sanctioned and approved by that project. Okay, now the next one is technical sanction. We give that approval, administrative approval. Now the next one is technical sanction. So in technical sanctions, what will comes? The detailed estimate, design calculation, quantities of works, rates and cost of the work by the department of competent authority of the engineering department. Okay, so first we approved that your project work, that is cost and the what is work you have to done. Okay, now second one, what you are doing, technical sanction. So what we sanction? We sanction the detailed estimate, the drawings which you are doing, okay, then the design calculation, your estimation, okay, rates, cost of the work. Who sanction? That competent authority, okay, of the engineering department. And then in case of original work, the counter signature of the local head of the department should be obtained in the plan and estimate before the technical is recorded by the engineering department, okay. Then the powers of the technical sanction is the various government officials in order are, if chief minister, chief engineer, he has full powers to sanction that technical, okay. Then the superintending engineer, he is sanctioned up to 15 lakhs. If your project is 15 lakhs, then only the superintending engineer sanctioned that project. Then executive engineer, he is also sanctioned up to only rupees 5 lakhs. Or above 5 lakhs he couldn't sanction that project, okay. So this is your technical sanction. Now the next one is budget provision. So the budget provision means after need of the projects and its appraisal, a project report is prepared in which a raw material and the organizational setup and the total cost required for the execution project are mentioned. Then according to 5-year plan in the budget provision for such type of projects, finance and sanction after administrative approval and of the project, okay. It also helps to preparing the programs for the development and expansion. It helps to controlling, planning and various activities. So the year plan in budget provision. So yearly plan, the method of adopting to have a proper and effective control over the expenses and the production cost in an organization is called as budgeting. So that is why it is helps in planning. We calculate the budget, okay. So which how much cost you have to be required, okay. All this comes under this budget provision. If we calculate the budget, then we also correctly plan and control the various types of activities which doing in this construction, that is foundation, painting, plastering, all these are the activities, okay, comes under this construction. So these are planning proper for the use of proper budgeting, okay. So this is your budget provision. Now the next one is expenditure sanction. Now what is expenditure sanction? Expenditure sanction means concurrence of the government to the expenditure proposed in an case of various works of the construction initiated by the government. Expenditure sanction is to be according by the ministry which ensure the funds, okay, for the project or the work, and it can be exceed up to 10%, and revised sanction of expenditure is to be taken, okay. So this is your expenditure sanction. Now the next one is method used in PWD for carrying out the work. So in last lecture we are learning the administrative setup. So in that administrative setup, that engineers doing the functions, all these are comes in this method used in PWD and their works, okay. So first is each PWD has a chief engineer who is administrative head of the department and directly responsible to the government. He prepares a budget estimate annually related to the work under his control and administers the grant and keeps a close watch over the expenditure, okay. When there are large amount of work, then there may be a regional chief engineer, an additional chief engineer and deputy chief engineer to assist the main engineer, okay. The whole area and the work under chief engineer is divided into a number of circles, okay. Now the next one is superintending engineer. So the superintending engineer, who is administrative and professional head of the circle, he has to see that the rules and regulation, instructions related to the execution of work and maintenance of the accounts and strictly followed. Then next one is executive engineer. So executive engineer is, each circle is divided into the number of divisions which are executive units of the department. So each division is under executive engineer or divisional engineer, who is responsible for the execution and management of all work in the division. Now the next one is, each division is divided into a number of subdivisions. Then subdivisional officers, who is of the rank of assistant engineer, and the assistant engineer is directly in charge of the works. Then subdivisions are divided into number of each under the charges of overseer and the sectional officers, who is directly charge of the field. They have to stay the site of works and supervise the works and maintains quality. That parts who's done junior engineer. Okay, then skilled labors. In skilled labors comes this under junior engineer. Okay, now the method of execution of work. So in method of execution of work, that is contracts method, rate list method, piecework method, day work method, and employing labor on wages. All these are the methods carrying in PWD works. Okay, so the first one is day work method. So in day work method, the work for special nature which cannot be measured, hence their valuation is made on the basis of actual material. Okay, the selected contractor has to be obtained quotation for various material and required for the work. A worksheet has to be maintained on the site in which a day-to-day account of consumption of materials and recorded, and these sheets should be checked by engineer in charge. Okay, now the second one is piecework method. So piecework method is the arrangement which involves the payment for the work done at agreed rate only without references to the total quantity or time. Okay, so this arrangement contains only description of items to be executed. So in this, the description of items to be executed, no time limit is mentioned, no quantity of item is given, no security deposit is required. Okay, and there is no penalty for this piecework agreement in piecework method. So care is taken that the rate quotes within the schedule of rates or within the limit of sanction estimated limits, means those rates are quoted, only that rates you have to be complete your projects, and there is no changes in rates. The payments will be made after taking the measurements and completion of regular time interval. Okay, so this is your piecework method. Okay, so here we are learning about the types of methods which are comes under this PWD. Okay, thank you.